Words you need advanced. This is the penultimate lesson. Words 801 to 850. All the words in this lesson are cognates. And so they're similar in Russian and English. So you can always guess the meaning, but you might not know how the words are pronounced or how they're used or the different forms of each word. So that's what I'm going to tell you about. The first one. Я занимаюсь в основном административной работой. I do mainly administrative work. Administrative, the stress is on the second syllable. Administrative, so we stretch them up. Administrative, min. In general, these, when a word has min in it, like minute, or minimum, the I is almost lost between the stretchy m and the stretchy n. Minute, minimum, administrative work. But I am an administrator. Or I do admin. So it's interesting when we contract the word, the stress moves. I'm an administrator. I do admin. I'm an administrator. The next one. Наш учитель биологии был некомпетентен. Некомпетентен. I can't say that. Our biology teacher was incompetent. Incompetent. Like, open your mouth. Competent. Incompetent. Let's see what else. What kind of people or things can be incompetent? Let's have a look. Incompetent. For example, oh look, teachers, number 1. Oh, that's not fair, is it? Why are teachers number 1? Anyway, an incompetent president. That's more like it. Get the politicians, not the teachers. An incompetent government. Yeah, get the government. Incompetent patients. It's interesting the phrase incompetent patients appears more often than incompetent doctors. So it seems like the patients are worse than the doctors. I don't know. Incompetent. Let's move on. Of course, doctors are usually competent. Highly competent, even. The next one. Существует корреляция между инфляцией и ценами на золото. There is a correlation between inflation and gold prices. Something about finance here. But correlation isn't only for finance. It can be about any pattern which has been noticed by academics or scientists. So a correlation. They are correlated. Correlated. Closely correlated. So when one goes up, the other goes up. They are closely correlated. They are inversely correlated. That means when one goes up, the other goes down. Inversely correlated. The next one. Британская империя была самой большой в мире. The good old days. The British Empire was the biggest in the world. Empire. British Empire. Empire. Yeah. Not anymore. Probably for the best. But who knows? At least we gave our empire some great sports like cricket and rugby. Anyway, let's move on. Съемочная группа имеет эксклюзивный доступ к группе. The film crew have exclusive access to the band. Exclusively, exclusive. It's another case where we have a liu in Russian, but a lu in English. So in Russian, your mouth is closed. So it makes sense to say liu, liu. But in English, lu, the mouth is open, exclusive. And that's why the l comes out harder. Loose, exclusive access to the band. L, open your mouth, exclusive. What else can be exclusive? Let's have a look. We got an exclusive interview with the president. That was exclusive, exclusively. We have exclusive rights to broadcast the World Cup. That's about prava, exclusive rights. We have exclusive use of the tennis court. It's only for us. It's exclusive. The next one. Музыка заложена в моих генах. Music is in my genes. No! I thought it would do that. Music is in my genes. No, impossible. Because genes, geny, and genes, jeansy, the pronunciation's exactly the same. So the music might be in your genes в генах or in your genes в джинсах. Both are possible. Genes в генах. Многие личностные черты являются генетическими. Many personality traits are genetic. So this is one of those cases where the noun and the adjective are quite different. Gene, genetic. Gene, genetic. They're quite different. Genealogy is about your ancestors. So your genealogy is great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, your family tree, your genes, genealogy, genetic, genes, etc. The next one. Вы должны доверять своим инстинктам. Instincty, your instincts. You should trust your instincts. And there's also an adjective, instinctive. Instinctive. For example, it was an instinctive reaction. Or, I have an instinctive sense of somebody's honesty. So I can tell if they are honest or not. It was an It's hard. It was an instinctive response. Similar to reaction. Response, reaction. Okay. Next, я провел 14 дней в изоляции. I spent 14 days in isolation. Isolation means away from everybody. So you might have an isolated island, or let's see what else comes after isolated. That's a very common expression. It was an isolated incident. That means that it was a one-off. It was not part of a series. So an isolated incident, usually we use it to talk about crime. We don't expect any more similar crimes. It was an isolated incident, or an isolated case, a one-off. If you're on an isolated island, the island is far away from all the other islands. If you're in isolation, you're away from all the other people. So that's what isolated means. In Russian, there's звукоизоляция and теплоизоляция. They are insulation in English. Sound insulation, heat insulation. Not heating, heat insulation. So be careful there. Sometimes изоляция is isolation, but звукоизоляция, теплоизоляция, sound insulation, heat insulation. The next one. Стена выполнена из деревянных панелей. The wall is made of wooden panels. When you say panels, ulls, try to get this dark l at the end. Ulls, panels, not panels, panels. In your throat, panels, dark L. The next one. У нее есть несколько радикальных идей. Радикальные, radical. She has some radical ideas. Sometimes cool people say, Wow, that's rad. Not red. Rad, short for radical. Cool, man. It sounds like surfer language. I don't know. Rad. Anyway, радикальный, radical. And that's number 810. So, if you like taking breaks between the parts of the lesson, now's the time to do it. But I'm going to continue with the next set of 10. В прошлом году наша компания прошла аудит. Our company was audited last year. Audit, audit. Just remember that the words sound similar, but you need to change the ow to or. Not audited, audited. Double O. Audited. American version, audited. Audited, audited. But not ow. It's not ow. It's or. Audited. The next one. Мои политические взгляды в основном консервативны. My political views are mostly conservative. Why are they called conservative? Well, because people with conservative views want to conserve things. We talk about a conservation charity. What do they want to do? Well, they want to conserve nature, usually. Охраня природа. So, to conserve is хранить, охранять, to conserve. The next one. Консистенция соуса идеальна. The consistency of the sauce is ideal. Consistent. Make the s long and swallow the I. Consistency of the sauce. The next one. Его успех был обусловлен упорным трудом и дисциплиной. His success was down to hard work and discipline. Disciplina, discipline. Stress is on the di at the beginning, so we do this discipline, where we don't release the d immediately. And discipline. D. Of course, it should be his success. Discipline. We also use the adjective disciplined, discipled, disciplined, noun. Let's see what we can get. He adopted a disciplined approach to training. So he did it every day. Disciplined approach. He is a disciplined person. Disciplined. The next one. Даже небольшая доза может быть смертельной. Доза, a dose. Even a small dose can be lethal. Dose. The O is clipped before the S. Dose. So obviously dose and nose are pronounced differently. Dose, nose, dose, nose. Strange, but true. The next one. Его иммунная система не работает должным образом. His immune system is not working properly. Иммунная, immune. So on this occasion, in Russian, it's an U, and in English, it's a U. We do need a M. Immune. Immune. Not immune. Immune. Make sure you get the Y. Immune. Immune system. Витамины могут повысить ваш иммунитет. Vitamins can boost your immunity. Just when you do pronounce this word, just make sure that you get the Y and the W. Immunity. 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 Immune. Immune. The next one. Это звучит как интригующий случай. Intriguющий. It sounds like an intriguing case. Intriguing. Here we have an E before a G. It's voiced, so we need a lot of Y in it. Intrigue. Intriguing. Really emphasize the y. Intriguing. I am intrigued. Tell me more. Intrigued. Intriguing. Okay, the next one. Экономика скатилась в рецессию. The economy slipped into recession. Recession. Lots of s and sh in this word. Recession. Recession. S and sh. The main sound. Not recession. Recession. The next one. Он больше заботится о статусе, чем о деньгах. He cares more about status than money. Status. 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 Just remember, it's an A. Status. It's not status. Everybody will understand you if you say status, and they will never correct you. But it's not status, it's status. 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 American status. 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 And you should hear a difference between the first and the second T's. Status. Status. Like that. More about status. The next one is Мой дедушка ветеран войны в Вьетнаме. My grandfather is a veteran of the Vietnam War. Veteran. Veteran. 2 syllables. Veteran. 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 Hold the v with a smile. Veteran. Veteran. Okay, that's number 820. So, if you want to do the tasks on Hopkins English, then now's the time to do them. Otherwise, keep watching. Number 821. Я рассмотрел каждый аспект проблемы. I considered every aspect of the problem. What else do we get aspects of? We'll do this on collocations, I think. Aspect of. Oh, not like that. Oh, it kind of worked, but let's do it like this. There we go. It's a different aspect of my life. That's another aspect of the game. It's an important aspect of our local culture. So in these sentences, aspect is used more like the word feature, I would say. It's a feature of my life. It's a feature of the game. It's a feature of our culture. That's an aspect of it. It's an aspect of his personality. The word aspect refers to part. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same as aspect in Russian because I'm not very familiar with the Russian word aspect, but hopefully these collocations will help you. Next, дом был продан на аукционе. The house was sold at an auction. Auktion, auction. Auction, auction. The next one. По их критериям я идеальный кандидат на эту работу. According to their criteria, I am an ideal candidate for this job. So, criteria, interesting word because I think it's one. Let's see actually, maybe the computer can help me. Criteria star. Yeah, so criteria is a plural word. Criteria is many. And we talk about one criterion. One criterion, many criteria. One criterion, many criteria. There you go. An irregular plural. Criteria. The next one. Дискриминация по признаку расы незаконна. It's illegal to discriminate on the basis of race. Discriminacja, to discriminate. Many efforts have been made in the last 50 years to eliminate discrimination. If you understand this sentence, then your English is pretty advanced. Next. Мы решили изменить формат. Format is the format. We decided to change the format. Now, what could it be the format of? Let's have a look. The format of... Oops. Collocates, nouns, for, yes. The format of the show. Try a different format of the show. Or the format of the book. If you change the format of the book, you might move some pictures around or some texts around. The format of the debate. Who speaks first, when they speak, etc. Format. Perhaps it's time for me to change the format of my lessons on YouTube. If you have some ideas for my format, actually, please write them in the comments. I'm always open to new ideas. The next one. Я против реформ пенсионной системы. I am against reforms to the pension system. Reforms. Reforms. I'm against the reforms. Reform is also a verb. It's also a verb. They want to reform the pension system. But many people protested against the reforms. Reforms to reform. The next one. На реставрацию собора были потрачены миллионы евро. Restauratsia is the restoration. Millions of euros were spent on the restoration of the cathedral. So, they want to restore the cathedral to its original glory. They want to restore it. They are spending money on restoration. Restore, restoration. The next one. Он уже пережил бесчисленное количество скандалов. This could be about Britain's Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, or America's previous and maybe future President Trump. Countless scandals. He has already survived countless scandals. Scandals. At the end, try to get this ulls, the dark L. Not scandals, but scandal. Scandals. Scandals. Ulls. Scandals. There's also an adjective, scandalous. Let's have a look at some collocates of scandalous. What can be scandalous? Scandalous behaviour. He lived a scandalous life. She told me a scandalous story. Scandalous. And here's another sentence with scandalous. Я был шокирован его скандальным поведением. I was shocked by his scandalous behaviour. Scandalous. The next one. Моя мама такая сентиментальная. My mum is so sentimental. Sentimental. I kind of stressed the first and the third syllable. Sentimental. Sentimental. It's actually on the third syllable though. Sentimental. Sentimental. But I'm kind of tempted to say sentiment. Sentimental. And 830. Этот территориальный спор. Этот территориальный спор до сих пор не разрешен. This territorial dispute still hasn't been resolved. Территориальный, territorial. Because it's about territory. So, territoria can be territory, stress on the first syllable. Oi. Territory, it's territorial. Territorial. Тероборона is called the Territorial Army, in Britain at least, or the TA. The TA, Tierra Barona, the Territorial Army. That's another set of 10. So, you know how it works. Press pause, review the words, and then keep watching. India была британской колонией. Колония – colony. India was a British colony. Open your mouth. Colony. Colony. He lived in a colonial town. I'm pretty sure that will be колониальный in Russian. I'll just check. Of course it is. В колониальном городке. A colonial town. Colony, colonial. The next one. Почему мы не можем жить в гармонии с природой? Гармония, harmony. Why can't we live in harmony with nature? Harmony. Open your mouth. Harmony. Harmony. If you have your mouth closed, harmony. It doesn't work. Harmony. You've got to open your mouth. Harmony. In harmony. The next one. Я бы хотела, чтобы мой парень проявлял больше инициативы. Initiativa is initiative. I wish my boyfriend would show more initiative. Connected speech there. More initiative. More initiative. I wish he would initiate. Let's see what do people initiate. Initiate with verbs. No, with nouns. You can initiate a process. So you make it start. You initiate the process. You can initiate contact with someone. It's like making the first contact. It's starting. You can initiate conversation. Maybe that's what this person wants from her boyfriend. I wish he would initiate conversation more often. Make something start. The next one. Есть еще много ниш, которые предстоит заполнить. There are plenty of niches yet to be filled. Niches. I think Americans sometimes call them niche. A niche. Niches. But in British English, it's definitely niche with an E. Niches. Plenty of niches yet to be filled. Smile. Niche. Niche. Now you really don't need to open your mouth. This is the one sound where you don't need to. Niche. Plenty of niches. Niches yet to be filled. The next one. На Северном полюсе нет пингвинов. Полюс is a pole. There are no penguins at the North Pole. And полярный is polar. Let's look what words sometimes come after polar. I think I know which one's going to be first. Let's see. Polar bears. Это белые медведи. Polar bears. Don't call them white bears. Nobody will understand what you're talking about. Белые медведи are polar bears. We also talk about the polar ice. So that's ледники in the north and in the south, in the Arctic and the Antarctic. In the polar regions. That's also the Antarctic and the Arctic. But you can also say they are polar opposites, which means they're completely different. Their characters or their personalities are polar opposites, like North Pole and the South Pole. North Pole and the South Pole. Polar opposites. The next one. Большая порция предназначена для вас. Порция, portion. The larger portion is for you. Portion. Make sure you stretch it. Pour or, double sound. Pour or, portion. The larger portion is for you. Portion, порция. Это решение создало прецедент. Прецедент, a precedent. This ruling set a precedent. Precedent. There we go. The it becomes breathy before the s. Press. Press. precedent. A precedent. The next one. Искусственный интеллект открывает беспрецедентные возможности. Artificial intelligence offers unprecedented opportunities. Nice word, unprecedented. Let's have a look at some nouns that often come after unprecedented. Unprecedented levels. The water has reached unprecedented levels. In a flood, for example, it's never been this high. Unprecedented levels. We were given unprecedented access to the royal family. Unprecedented access. On a level which nobody had ever received before. Unprecedented. Unprecedented. The scale of the disaster was unprecedented. It's about масштаб, scale. The next one. Она получила престижную награду. She won a prestigious award. Prestigious. This is another ST word, so prestigious. She won a prestigious award. This competition has a lot of prestige. So the noun is prestige. Prestigious, prestige. The next one. Игра состоит из различных квестов. The game consists of various quests. If you try to pronounce the word quests with your mouth closed, quests, you might get a V. Open your mouth. Quests. Quests. Then there should be no problems. Quests. Quests. The wider you open your mouth, the better, in my opinion. Quests. Quests. Okay, the next one. Это вопрос суверенитета. Many people said that's about Brexit. It's a question of sovereignty. Who is sovereign? Interesting word because we have a lot of letters. V-E-R-E-I-G-N. But we say vrn. Sovereignty. As if there were no vowels at all. Sovereignty. Sovereign. Vrn. Sovereignty. So it's a much easier word to say, in my opinion, than it is to spell. Sovereign. Sovereignty. Okay, that's another set of 10. So feel free to press pause if you like, or just stay with me and we'll look at the last group together. Number 841. Они эксплуатируют вас. Эксплуатируют. That's hard to say. They are exploiting you. Exploit. It's got the unusual oi or the rare oi sound. Oi isn't in so many English words, but here it is. Exploiting. Why isn't it exploitировать in Russian? Exploit? Exploitировать? No. Exploit. Anyway, exploit, the verb to exploit. They're exploiting you. Their behavior is exploitative. Let's look at some other exploitative things. Exploitative. What can be exploitative? Yes. Exploitative hiring practices. So when people hire workers in an exploitative way. She dumped her boyfriend because of his exploitative behavior. Exploit. Interestingly, though, there is another phrase, exploits. He is proud of his exploits. And it means achievements. So an exploit is like podvig, which doesn't seem to be very closely related to exploitation. English can be strange. Next one. Это испытанная формула. This is a tried and tested formula. So here, Russian mu English me, there's a y in it. Formula. Formula. It's a tried and tested formula. There's also a verb. Нам нужно сформулировать маркетинговый... Try again. Нам нужно сформулировать маркетинговую стратегию. We need to formulate a marketing strategy. Another word which even somebody who doesn't know English could understand. Formulate, marketing, strategy. They're all cognates. Very easy. The next one. В нашем мире происходят фундаментальные изменения. Фундаментальные. Fundamental changes are happening to our world. Fundamental. What else can be fundamental? Fundamental. Фундаментальные. I will not give up my fundamental rights. Фундаментальные права. This is the fundamental problem. It's главная, фундаментальная, наверное, проблема. This is the fundamental question. Центральный вопрос. Fundamental. It's the fundamental one. It comes from the word foundation. You know, if it's fundamental, it's part of the foundation. Everything else is based on this foundation, the fundamental thing. The next one. Она жестом пригласила меня войти. Жестом. She gestured to me to come in. Let's see if I can get the past form. She gestured to me to come in. Nearly. Gestured. Gestured. Interestingly, in my pronunciation, the first sound in this word, the j, jess, and the tu is also a j. Gestured. Gestured. Not gestured, interestingly. Why do I say gestured? Why do I say gesture, not gesture? That's interesting. I've never thought about that, actually. It's something to do with having s followed by ch. Just like I've talked about how when I say stop, it becomes stop. Here, the ture would usually be a ch, which is kind of like a ch, like that, ch. But because of the s, the t becomes a d, and I get gesture. Gesture. So it's like that. Gesture. Gesture. Now that's something I hadn't noticed before. That a tu can even become a j. Gesture. Anyway, a gesture. Yeah, it really is j. It's also a noun, so a gesture. You can have a gesture of, without the a. Let's see what we get. A gesture of goodwill. A gesture of goodwill. How would that be translated? Доброй воля. Yeah. A gesture of respect. A gesture of friendship. A gesture of solidarity. You get the idea. Gestures. Okay, the next one. Мы получили грант на продолжение наших исследований. We got a grant to continue our work. A grant, or Southern English, we got a grant to continue our work. Grant, Northern, grant, Southern. You can choose, just don't say grant. It's not a grant. It's grant or grant. Double sound. Grant. Grant. Grant, grant. The next one. Я посмотрел на икону в углу комнаты. I looked at the icon in the corner of the room. Connected speech. Did you hear it? The icon. The I. Because icon begins with a vowel, so the becomes the. And we use the y to connect the words. The icon. The icon. Or, I don't know. Michael Jackson was an icon. We also use it to talk about superstars, not only religious icons. Icon. The next one – это визуализация магнитного поля Земли. This is a visualization of the Earth's magnetic field. Магнитное поле, magnetic. So, magnets, what are magnets? Magnetike. A magnet. Magnet, like the supermarket. If you live in Russia, you know what I'm talking about. Magnet, magnetic. Magnet, magnetny. Magnets. The next one. Я люблю древнегреческие мифы и легенды. Мифы are myths. I love ancient Greek myths and legends. Myths. Unusual word. Not many words have this ith sound. Ith. Myth. So we say myth. The I is clipped before the th. Myths. Open your mouth. Myths. It will be easier to bite your tongue for the th if you open your mouth. Myths. Myths and legends. Myths and legends. 849. Я предпочитаю провинциальную жизнь. I prefer provincial life. This is true for me. I was born in a provincial town. Then I went to study in London, in the big city. Then I tried living in St. Petersburg, another big city. But now I'm back in the provinces, in another provincial town, and I'm much happier. I like provincial towns. I think they suit me better. So, I really do prefer provincial life. Provincial. The next one. Cults. Культы. I can't say it. Культы. Часто имеют сложные ритуалы посвящения. Ритуалы. Cults often have elaborate initiation rituals. Oops. Cults often have elaborate initiation rituals. I can't say cults. 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 No. It's a cult. Ah, got it. No, it's not a coat. It's a cult. It is a cult. Not a coat. He got drawn into a cult. Yes, got it. Cult. From the context. Cult. Anyway, not call soften, but cults. Cults often. Don't worry, you see, if you sometimes have problems with your voice typing, it happens to me too. Anyway, here the word we're concentrating on is actually rituals with a ch. Ritual. Rituals. Rituals. Something like that. Let's make that really small. Rituals. Rituals. Lots of l. Rituals. Rituals. That's it. That's another 50 words. There's only one lesson left. So I hope you found this one interesting, even if the words weren't new to you. But maybe you picked up some new interesting ideas, tips, etc. Anyway, I do hope that you'll join me soon for the final lesson.